Morning, everyone. Type in chat if you guys can hear me. And I'm going to be reviewing this morning's options trades way better than yesterday morning. For those of you that don't remember, somehow, yesterday I started off the morning 0 and 4 and ended up finishing 2 and 4. Um, but I was pretty close to break even. I was down. I ended up only down by a fraction of a single red trade, like half of one red trade. So I actually ended on a positive note yesterday. Today was not exactly the exact. Well, it wasn't exactly the opposite of yesterday, but I did go 5-0, and we had zero losses. And even after I walked away, our PTs hit. So I'm going to quickly review this morning's trades. And yeah, it was a great morning. Type in chat though. How do you guys do this morning compared to last morning? I know I talked to a lot of you guys, and between the mentorship meetings and whatnot, a lot of you guys had a rough time yesterday morning because it just chopped for that first 30 minutes until that breakout. And some of you guys couldn't even catch the breakout because you ran out of trades, which is fine. It happens. Um, much better than yesterday. It looks like most people did much better than yesterday. Okay, cool. But all right, so I'm gonna review, and I've been so tired. I've been sleep deprived lately. Um, I've been burned out. So like, I'm rolling out of bed 3 minutes before market open, and I'm getting to my computer like 6:28, a minute ish before market open. So I didn't really have any pre-market bias. This was it right before market open. You can see on the 15-minute, it's got pivots above and pivots below. It's just got a lot, right? So I'm just, all right, if we go down more, I'll go to the nearest ES pivot. If we go up more, I'll go to the nearest ES pivot there. I marked out my pivots. No major bias. I'm just kind of waiting. We do have quite a lot of pivots. We got this one here. We got this one. We got them all over the place. So yeah, that's what was going on. So let me pull up my channel real quick. Here was market open. Started bouncing a bit. Looked like ES was very much so stronger than NQ. All right, cool. I will enter calls if this selling wick invalidates for SPX calls. Didn't do it. NQ looked stronger, and NQ also looked stronger there. I entered puts here. Before the candle even closed, I entered puts here. Because what happened? We got 3 selling wicks in a row on NQ. All the selling wicks had higher highs. This selling wick flawless. It's kind of hard to see in the recording, but this selling wick flawlessly rejected supply, and we invalidated pretty much the entire bounce. I quickly filled puts, and this was just meant to be a scalp for this low. If it hit the low and immediately formed a buying wick, I'm out. Or even starts. Like if it hits the low and hesitates, I'm out. If it doesn't do that, then I'm bearish for ES new low of day as well. So that was a trade that I put on, and immediately it was successful. Dumped right through it. It didn't even give the indication that it may, stop. I forgot to chart this pivot. But we missed this pivot by just a little bit. But I didn't end up selling. Because ES hit low of day. I sold most right when ES hit low of day. Held a runner for the next pivot because it missed. But when this candle closed, I sold the last bit. I don't know what my percent was. I thought it was. Let me check. I accidentally wrote 53% this morning. It was actually 23%. But let me double check to be sure. I believe I got like 25% on the trade. But looking back at price action, 25% seems kind of low for this move. I could have just got a really bad fill. Let me see. Those were the 489 puts. I sold most right at the start of 6:34 a.m. 6:34. Yeah, 23%. That was right. Wow, puts ended up running though. Man, those puts ended up hitting 2.5 after I left. That bear pennant break skyrocketed Q puts. Kind of sucks I missed it, but I was more than happy with my results. But anyways, that was the first trade. Like, okay, sweet, that's awesome. If we invalidate this bounce, I'm gonna scalp it again. Because I think if this reversal candle invalidates, I think it's good to this pivot. So that's one thing that I was thinking. That's the only thing I was thinking at the moment. No longer thinking that, I am in calls. So, just liquidity analysis. I filled SPX calls and QQQ calls because I couldn't tell which was strong. My voice keeps like breaking this morning. It's just had some cereal in it. So if I randomly pause, that's why. Anyway, so I enter calls here. You guys know, swept demand, most of the drop invalidated, beautiful, beautiful momentum, all those things. I filled kind of a little bit before candle close. I was a little bit heavier on SPX. But my big PT is just this SPX pre-market high. My ES pre-market high. That's my big PT. That's where I'm trimming pretty much everything. Started off red. That was not good. Then went back to green. NQ is clearly weaker than ES. Trimmed. Heavy here. Very heavy. I don't know what happened to this candle. Oh, sorry. I put an order to trim heavy right as this candle closed. Or sorry, the next candle opened. I was slightly late, and this candle dumped. This was really scary. Because, as I said in my channel, I only filled a single contract for this trim. And we dumped all the way down to here. It's kind of hard to see. There's so much supply and demand right now on this left chart. So I was scared that I missed my PT and it was going to be over. But we did end up putting in a huge buying wick, and I did end up getting a sell here. So that was awesome. SPX calls got roughly 42%, and QQQ calls got 99 cents for 20%. So there's two more wins right there. I was heavier in SPX, and it did end up being stronger. I did end up keeping a small runner here in case NQ decided it wanted to validate the selling wick and ES would go for the next pivots. But I was out the last bit here. That was enough of a bearish liquidity sweep. Also, the volume spike on this red candle was hyper bearish. I don't know what happened. This candle was like a spasm candle. I thought news came out, but then I looked at the time. It's only 9 minutes after market open. News never releases that time. And look at the volume. I mean, we had way higher than even the opening volume this morning. And we were also in supply. So that is flashing signals for a reversal to the downside. And sure enough, we start reversing. All right, if we come back down, I'm going back for that pivot. And I did not. Did I fill here? No. Fill on the next candle. Here it is. I filled puts on this candle. It's kind of confusing because I filled puts. I remember putting in a huge buying wick right after I filled and turned into kind of a reversal candle. This is the candle that I did. The reversal candle invalidated. It looked beautiful. The problem was it in the last few seconds of the candle, last 10 seconds of the candle, did put in this huge reversal. So yeah, that was not fun. But I did go half size on this trade. And I went half size on this, and I think I actually filled a little bit higher. Yeah, I filled a little bit higher. I filled like right here-ish. But anyways, because it invalidated that entire buying wick, and as it kind of came back up, I filled it, thinking I got a discount. I didn't. But anyways, I was half size. I was okay averaging down, but not really. I only plan on averaging up. The plan was to average up here, and I was half size because demand was really heavy. It's a pretty dang risky trade to take. But I didn't have plans to average down because my stop loss is close, and when this NASDAQ trade stops out, well, I'm going to have to enter SPX calls for this pivot. And this is a really nice set of pivots up here. And this drop would invalidate. So I'd be triggered into another trade, and I'm not willing to miss out on this SPX trade in an attempt to save my red QQQ trade. So that was the game plan there. And this was a beautiful candle. I'm like, dang, I kind of wish I averaged down, but whatever. Averaged up a little bit here personally, but I didn't get the fill that I wanted, so I only added a couple contracts. So I was still less than full size, but now I'm just looking for these pivots here on the NASDAQ. I get him. I get one. I trim heavy. I'm still looking for the other one. Boom, there's the other one. Trim more. I have like 2 contracts left, and I'm looking for ES new low of day. Oh, I was, but I ended up selling on that last candle. Yep, I sold right here. ES didn't get new low of day. Looking back on it, I kind of wish I held just a little bit longer. It didn't end up going for a big win, but you guys didn't see it. But you guys can't see it in replay. But not only were there huge buying wicks here, this huge red candle was an entire buying wick early on in the candle. Same thing here, same thing here. We were in 3 demand zones, 2 of which were huge demand zones, and we were putting in a ton of buying wicks on major pivots. I couldn't hold through it. I didn't have the balls to hold through it. Plus, I wasn't full size position, so I didn't have much to trim. So I just dumped it. It did end up continuing though. So I locked in 23% gains on this trade. They ended up getting 76%. Womp womp. But it was good. But anyways, I was considering taking QQQ puts, so it got the next pivot. It hit 76% gains right here. Kind of shitty, but whatever, you know. ES also got this pivot. So I was considering we got a big volume spike, we got a big buying wick on both. We're sweeping pivots and we're in demand. Right now I'm actually considering a reversal trade on calls, but I need to wait for NQ to get into demand. Well, if NQ gets into demand, that means ES is going to be back down here. Let me look at this pivot. Is this like a major pivot at the bottom of this demand? Yes, it is. So now I'm kind of thinking, you know what? Maybe demand wants to break. And that thought comes into the next candle. So here's the next candle. End up being kind of a small candle. You see that ES put in a doji. And to me, that's like, okay, well, the last candle had solid reversal potential. That is not reversing like I thought it had a high chance to. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, I'm starting to actually lean bearish for ES demand to break. I will enter puts if we drop back down to here on the NASDAQ for the ES demand break. And sure enough, I did. It was a very fast trade. I filled the puts roughly right where I wanted to. I just tried to get in before new low of day. And really my PT was just ES demand break. We got it. And I sold. Not only when it broke demand, but when it hit the next demand, I dumped it. I had one runner left just in case we went to the next pivot. It was kind of close on NQ. But then on this candle, I sold the rest. So I did actually get another 77% trade. So the other trade got 76%, but then I re-entered and I got 77% to finish it out. It was a glorious trade to finish this morning 5-0. Now this trade wasn't quite full size. It was just a little bit under full size because I was entering puts at low of day while ES was in demand. Right, a little bit unorthodox, a little risky, but it was just a momentum trade, and I'm really happy with it. So here I stopped trading. Actually, I said, well, I stopped trading here, but I planned on continuing to trade if we invalidated this bounce. I would hop in one more time. We started doing it. Was thinking about getting in, then this candle happened. I'm like, all right, I'll just call it here. But I did say, puts look pretty good. You know, if this bounce invalidates, and I called it out to you guys, if this bounce invalidates roughly here, I really like these next pivots to hit. And sure enough, it did happen. We did end up clearing those pivots. We actually had a huge drop. Those QQQ puts went ballistic. By the way, whenever you see gaps in futures charts, those fill. Like, this is an impressive gap. I can't remember last time I saw a gap like this on NQ, but sure enough, look, it just filled right there. So, yeah, that was this morning. Had a really nice trade to the upside. Scalped the downside. It was just scalpy, momentum, liquidity day mixed in with supply and demand. It was beautiful. Strength and weakness was really solid too with those calls. ES being stronger and me being heavier in SPX was a glorious decision. And then me riding mostly QQQ on the way down. And the NASDAQ did end up remaining weaker. It was just a great morning overall. No issues. Super easy price action to read. All my predictions hit. A complete 180 from yesterday, and that's the way it goes. I told you guys yesterday, your red days really don't matter, right? As long as on days that you go 0 and 3 or 0 and 4, hell even 0 and 5, who cares, right? Because as long as it's rare, you shouldn't care. If there's one, maybe two of those days a month, and there's at least 4 days a month where you have flawless mornings like me, then you shouldn't care. It doesn't even matter. Flipping a coin, 50-50 chance whether it lands on heads or tails. But if you flip a coin 1,000 times, there's probably going to be at least multiple times that it lands on heads 5 times in a row and tails 8 times in a row, right? It's gonna happen. Just like you guys know, if you ever go to the casino and it lands on red 4 times in a row, where are you gonna bet? Black. And then just lands on red 6 times in a row. Red wasn't any more likely than black, but streaks happen. But over the large series of events, if it's a European roulette table, the odds are like 47 or 48%, something like there. Over the large series of events, red and blacks are going to be pretty even. But I'll never forget, and this, my first time ever in Vegas, and keep in mind, I go to the casino maybe twice a year, maybe. If me and my friends just want something to do, and I'll maybe spend a couple $100. I'm not a gambler. But when I went to Vegas when I was like 21, just one of those things to do. One of the first times ever playing roulette, I was talking to the dealer, and he was brand new, and he was telling me about a few days before I got there, it hit red 34. I think it was 31 or 34. I'm just gonna go with 31. It hit red 31 times in a row and rinsed absolutely everyone. And that was like such an eye-opening moment for me because my strategy would just be gambler's fallacy. If it lands on red 3 times in a row, it's time to go black and just double down. Um, but no, it hit red 30 times in a row. It's the same with a coin flip. If you flip a coin 1,000 times in a row, there's gonna be plenty of times where it lands on heads, 10 times in a row, tails 7 times in a row, whatever it is. So back to the point. If you have terrible red days, who cares? As long as it's rare, you shouldn't even bat an eye. It just happens. You're just going to, I have red mornings every time the first 30 minutes or an hour refuses to sweep a pivot, right? Not quite every time. If it's chopping tight enough for me to not get triggered into trades, I'll avoid it. But if it's oscillating aggressively enough to trigger me into trades and it doesn't get to any pivots, I will lose every single time. And that's an important thing you must know as a trader, what kinds of days you are going to lose on and being okay with those days, because you have back testing, you have documentation, you know how rare those days are. And when you know how rare those days are, it's easy to pay your business expenses, right? If you run a business and you're paying, you send the lease payment for your storefront, that's not a loss. That's a cost of doing business. It's the same thing with terrible red days like yesterday. Yesterday didn't end up finishing being a red day, only because I took those last 2 trades to try one more time to catch the breakout. It did end up working, but I was also willing to go 0 and 5, right? I'm gonna have days where I go 0 and 4, 0 and 5, whatever it is. But as long as they're rare, you should not matter. It should not matter to you. And days like today are a great bounce back, and they really reinforce good psychology. And if you decide to blow your account because you can't accept a red day of price action, then you miss out on this. Remember, losses are only business expenses that make you available for the next winning trade. But all right, that's it. It looks like ES is weaker now, and it looks like ES is going to get this pivot. I am bearish for that pivot, but I'm not trading anymore. So, does anyone have any questions whatsoever before I wrap up this trade review? Is missing that candle? I mean, my chart could be missing that candle. Yeah, it is. Why is my chart missing this candle here? You're right. Did time skip? What the heck? Never mind. My chart is missing a candle. Goes from 655 to 657. The heck? Let's fix that. No, it won't go away. Hang on. What if that 656 candle had critical information that I needed and my chart just didn't give it to me? Should be fixed now. No, it's not fixed. My NQ chart doesn't it I don't know what the 656 candle was holding, but it must have been too valuable for me to see it. I can't. It's just not here. It's only on NQ either. It's probably not even on. Yeah, no. What about MNQ? Oh, I've never seen that before. Yeah, no. NQ just doesn't want to give me that candle. Interesting. I don't remember missing that candle though. I remember seeing that candle when I was in the short. When I was in the puts live, I don't remember missing this candle. I might have just been looking at Thinkorswim. Did ES just hit the pivot? Oh, well, there it goes. ES getting the pivot. I literally just called it out 15 seconds ago, and it's already gonna get it. Unless it puts in a huge buying wick, then it may try to hold it. Hang on, I'm waiting for it to get it. I want to see if it gets it because that'd be a really nice way to close off this recording. I'm too impatient for this, especially because I'm not trading. It's pretty difficult knowing something is extremely likely to happen and not allowing yourself to trade it. But I mean, I don't give me any credit. Like this was the most obvious setup known to man. So beautiful price, just a beautiful price action day today, guys. Like these days are so good. These days are rare. These days are not quite as rare as yesterday, but they're fairly rare. Very nice. But anyways, yeah, I'm very bearish for ES to sweep that pivot, and that'll put NQ maybe somewhere around here. If it bounces beforehand, that would be an awesome entry for a head and shoulders entry through the pivot. I doubt you're going to be that lucky though. It's possible, but with the way this candle's opening, I don't think you're going to be that lucky. When will live trading come back? Well, Meow Mix, I've just been simply making too much money. That's the truth. Why live trade and lose money when I can not live trade and make money? Here's the thing. And there's the pivot. There you go. That was the most obvious. Price action continues being obvious, man. For live trading, it was easier for me because I'd only be live trading for the second hour. I don't trade the second hour anymore. I trade from 10:30 until 1 o'clock my time. The trades are on the 5-minute time frame. Yesterday's trade, I enter at 10:35. I stopped out at 12:35 my time. Market closes at 1. What am I going to talk about while I'm in that trade? Just live trading, it isn't very necessary anymore. That's why I went through so much time. And I'm not saying it's not going to come back. But at the moment, the reason why I went through so much time giving you guys all the data so that you guys can just trade this future strategy yourselves. I mean, 1, maybe 2 trades a day. It's the easiest strategy I've released in a while. You guys are more than capable of trading this yourselves, but I'm getting a lot of complaints about live trading because honestly, I just think people are lazy and they don't care to actually, they just want to follow my trades and just not do shit on their own and just continue to lose all their money. Um, so maybe it'll come back, but right now, I mean, my trades are too long. My trades are at least, on average, they last, well, yesterday I had a trade that stopped out in just like 15, 20 minutes. But a lot of my trades are lasting for over an hour and they're slow and it's on the 5-minute time frame. I'm usually playing video games, playing pool, or doing something while I'm in my trade. So I'm not even at my computer. My computer's like sitting on my desk or my laptop is sitting on the bar and I'm just glancing back at it once every 5 minutes, once every 10 minutes. That's just how I'm trading right now. So I don't even know how I could possibly live trade when that's the way I'm trading futures. You know what I mean? Like I'm not actually sitting at my computer. I place the trade, watch it for a little bit. If it starts moving the right direction, I know it's at least going to take 20, 30 minutes to stop out. Or at least 20, 30 minutes to hit PT, so I don't even really look at it. I glance at the chart maybe once every 10 minutes. That's a very boring live trading session, so. Hearing your thoughts in live in real time makes it easy to learn how to analyze price action. That's true, TCG, but none of that happens anymore. I don't, when I'm trading this future strategy because the trades are so big, There's none of that. Once I enter the trade, it's just silent. I don't even look at price action. There's no analysis to be done because I'm in the trade. You know what I mean? There's a small amount in the beginning, but most of these times I'm just looking at the chart and just knowing when to get in because it's so mechanical. I'm not analyzing price action like I used to during the second hour or like I currently do in the fourth hour or I mean in the first hour. There's none of that happening. I just know when I'm supposed to get in. Usually that happens kind of right away. And if I can't get in, I'm not triggered into anything. I don't even look at the chart. I glance at it once every 5 minutes and just kind of wait. There's none of that. There's no extensive analysis. I'm not trading the 1 minute anymore. So, you know what I mean? It's just what would I even talk about? I don't have any analysis the trades put on. Will you still alert your new trades? Yeah, at some point, Meow Mix, but at the same time, it's just a money thing. Like I don't get paid to do it. It takes a lot of time. I gotta worry about other people. You know, it's if you were in my shoes, it probably wouldn't be any different. You know. So we'll see. That's still a bit down the road. I'm still working on a lot of things. I got to finish the March documentation, and I got to catch up on the mentorship spreadsheet. I got to answer a bunch of DMs. There's just a lot of stuff I got to do, and live trading is in the back of my mind. And it's also nice because I've been live trading with you guys futures during the second hour for like an entire year and a half straight, and for the final 4 months of that live trading during the second hour, every other day was red. I was only green overall during most months due to risk to award. I had a 50% win rate. The market just wasn't profitable during the second hour. It wasn't good. Like I wasn't able to trade it because the market shifted. But now it's like I don't even have to live trade. I don't even have to look at the chart. I evolved and developed a strategy that gives me the easiest trades in the world. I just hop in or hop out. Don't even look, and I'll look at my P&L after 2 weeks or after 8 days to request on Apex. And if I'm able to request, I do. And I've been requesting a lot lately, so um, so we'll see. You know, like this is the new future strategy is the first time that I've drastically altered my trading style in years. So everything is kind of new. The only thing that's the same is my options trading in the morning. That'll never go away. That's my bread and butter. But as far as the futures thing goes, it's like I don't even know how to live trade it. It's just there. You know, I get in and I'm in for an hour or whatever, and I do enjoy my free time. I mean, while I'm trading, I'm able to answer DMs, update the mentorship participation tracker. I'm able to go through my emails. I'm able to take calls. I'm able to relax and play video games or play pool or do whatever. I'm able to, if you know, I'm in my trade, it's nowhere near PT or stop loss, and there's an hour left in market open. I know that it's literally impossible for me to get triggered into a second trade because there's not enough time. So I'll just leave the house. I'll just leave the house and go run errands that I need to do. I don't even need to look at it anymore because it's either going to get to my PT or stop loss, and after that happens, I can't even enter another trade. So I'm not as actively participating in the market anymore to trade futures, and it's been very profitable, which is why I gave you guys that strategy. But no, and here's the thing, and I know I'm kind of dragging this a little bit, um, but here's the thing. Here's why I would live trade. It's only for server activity. As you guys know, since the mentorship started, server chats are going to be a lot more dead because everyone's studying in the mentorship group chats. Watching lessons. The chats aren't nearly as active as they used to be. On top of that, I'm no longer live trading. The only incentive for me to live trade is for growth of our community. But is that worth more than my peace of mind and me, making money while just being at peace? It depends, I've been putting for those 4 months where my win rate was 50% and I'm barely growing accounts during the second hour of trading. I put Aurora first, and that kind of just not only hurt me but it also hurt you guys because it just wasn't very profitable. I mean, it was a little profitable, but the market change. It wasn't anymore. For the first 9 months of last year, great. And then after October, even to today, I'm looking at the second hour now. Look what happened during the second hour. We chopped upwards. It's not money to be made. Even while I'm looking at this chart, I probably wouldn't have made money in the second hour of trading. Maybe a little bit. I probably would have entered shorts right here and stopped out. I could have entered longs up here, didn't end up getting to PT. Finally, okay, now I can take this break and play it to the downside. And when did that happen? At the very end of the second hour. It's just not profitable. And doing that destroyed my psychology last winter. Like, my psychology was never worse. The morale and confidence was never lower. Like, I'm not a 50% trader. Like, I'm usually 70 to 80% ish. And that was a rough time for your boy. That was a very rough time. And now I'm not having a rough time anymore, and I really enjoy it, so I don't really want to mess it up. So I'm in no rush to do that, if that makes sense. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I've been getting a lot of those questions lately, and honestly, I'm doing great at the moment, so we'll see. Will you post your futures plays while we learn that strategy with you? I already posted all the documentation, Meow Mix. You guys are fully capable of learning that strategy. Not only that, a lot of you guys have access to that hour and a half recording where I thoroughly break down the strategy, what it consists of, and what triggers a trade. You don't need me to alert it. Will I alert it eventually? Maybe. But I taught you guys how to fish. There's nothing missing there. Thank you, JBS. But yeah, I still may alert it. Here's the thing, what I may do if this new strategy, and keep in mind, if it stops working, then I'm just gonna alter it. That's fine, I can do that. But if it continues just making me money, then I don't even want to alert it. I'd probably create like a bot that just copy trades for that watches my trade of 8 and just sends out an alert whenever I fill, which would not work with my previous futures trading or my options trading because I'm taking a bunch of trades and they're fast paced. So I could look into that in the future, but that I don't like doing that because I don't like breastfeeding people. I like teaching people how to work on their own and create. I remember the goal of this community is to create independent, consistently successful traders. I'm trying to build a group of people that I wake up every morning and I'm excited to trade with, not trade for, trade with. I want trading partners, and I've been screwed over so many times looking for that the whole reason for this server and the mentorship is I'm building my own trading team. That's the end goal. If I just send out alerts that are copied from my futures account, now we're backtracking. Now people lose their desire to become better traders, and I'm honestly just creating a stupider community. And no extra benefit to me because that's not my goal. If money was if money was my goal, I would be discoverable on social media. I'm not even discoverable on social media. I'd be on social media with my supercars and my P&L and all the things that I have if that was my goal. But like I've told you guys, unlike most server owners, I actually trade. I actually love trading. It is my biggest priority. And when my trading isn't well, I have no desire to do anything else besides fix it. And my biggest priority is just trading and building a trading team. And I'm willing to alert my options trades because you're not able to follow them if you don't know how to trade. The future strategy, it's a little too easy. It is a little too easy. It requires no learning. It requires no mental growth. At least with my options trade, you're gonna make money, but in order to make money, you're gonna have great psychology. You're gonna have to be able to stop out and take the other side, or do whatever. For the future strategy, it's too easy. I'd be backtracking this community, and when I eventually, because I'm not going to alert for the next 20 years, when I eventually decide to stop and move on and do something else, the years that you've built up reinforcing bad psychology, just copying my futures alerts, uh, you're going to keep trading. You're going to lose all the money that you've made. And 2 years from now, you're going to be a much worse trader than you are now. Um, so, but unfortunately, everyone idolizes quick money and they don't actually care about the long-term vision for the most part. So we'll have to see. It's a tough subject, and yeah, we'll have to see. But all right, I will let you guys go. So you guys have a blessed rest of your morning. I don't believe there's back testing scheduled today, which is good because I have things to do. There's a real quick before we go. Type in chat. Do you guys want a TA lesson or a psychology lesson today? Actually, we'll do a psych lesson today. We have a TA lesson scheduled tomorrow. Um, so we are going to put in a study session together 30 minutes after market close. And yeah, I hope to see all you guys there. But don't worry, I'm going to figure out something as far as alerting futures, live. I'm going to figure out something because honestly, my heart is just, even though it's not as productive and profitable, my heart is as much with Aurora as it is with my trading. So if I see that the server is, drying up or whatever, that's going to sway me a decent amount to a live trade or post my futures or do something like that, right? So I don't plan on just kind of keeping things to myself for a while, but I'm enjoying this month of bliss because it's the first solid futures month that I've had in a few months. The rest of the months is like barely getting payouts and barely going accounts just because the win rate sucks and trying to force myself to have good psychology while I know that I'm trading the worst time of day and I'm doing it live. So right now I'm just enjoying myself. After the next few weeks, we'll see. It's not gonna stay like this forever, but I'm just enjoying myself. That's really all it is. And I'll let you guys know when the March documentation is out. We're almost done with this month, and we're actually creating the March documentation together. So you guys should be joining the live backtesting sessions because you're literally watching me trade the strategy and document the results and talk about it. That reminds me, I need to post yesterday's backtesting session. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm just enjoying myself. But all right, I will let you guys go. I'll let you guys know when this recording's posted, and I also owe you guys the backtesting recording, so I'll make sure to get that to you guys today. But all right, good luck if you continue to trade. Have a blessed rest of your day, and feel free to reach out if you guys need anything.